Yes, folks, this is a really intriguing little guitar. I'll get to the specifics later. I haven't quite had one like this. You may remember, those of you who watch a lot of my videos, I did a video some time ago on the Guitar Fetish website and what it's like to order from them, the pros and cons. And I keep an eye on their sales and their clearance stuff. The reason why I don't buy from them regularly was covered in that video I did. I don't like their shipping policies. For instance, they refuse to do multiple shipments, multiple item shipments. So they won't put guitars together like a lot of companies do. So if you buy a guitar from them in the US, it's around $35 to $45, depending on where you are and how far it has to go. But if you buy two guitars, it's about $90 for shipping. And I don't understand why they can't put two guitars in a box and ship it for $50 like most other companies do. I've talked to their customer service department, and they just flat out refuse to do it. So they ship everything singularly. That's how they have their website set up. So if you're buying one guitar, you might get a good deal with it, but if you're trying to buy multiple, whereas most companies try to work with you and give you price breaks and encourage you to buy multiple guitars, this company does not. So I keep an eye on it just for the odd guitar. I would buy more, but I don't like being gouged on the shipping, so I don't. So with that out of the way, this is a Xaviere guitar, and I'm not sure of the exact numbers. It's not actually in here. It is RTS 5308 CR, I think. I'll put that in the description below. But anyway, this is one of their Dreadnought cutaways with the raised spruce grain. So it's a very tactile, ridgy spruce here. It is a solid spruce top, and this one is the red one. I've only ever seen it in red. I don't think they might do a blue one, I'm not sure, or a black one. And for the pick guard, it's just a section of the guitar that has a normal spruce grain without the raised grain on it. Yeah, it's veneered, a very thin veneer of spruce here and around the sound hole. So this is a very different approach to that sort of aesthetic with the pick guard. I'm not sure how much of a scratch guard it is. It looks to my eye and feels to my eye more aesthetic than practical. But anyway, this is a raised spruce grain top and mahogany back and sides. Looks like Sapele to me. And it is electric. It's got the skunk stripe in the back, so it has full truss rod and everything. And this comes with the GFS preamp, which is the EA Piece 360. Not quite sure who they licensed that through. GSF, of course, is the Guitar Fetish. So it's their own, but it looks very similar to what I've seen on some of the Takamine guitars, so it might be made by those people. It has the sliders on it, which is really nice, and a tuner, just a simple jack entry here, which when I got the guitar it was loose, but I'll forgive them because I bought this as a second or a blem, and I did a video more recently about the or maybe I didn't. I did a video about the sale from, where was it? The online sale from Orangewood. So let me tell you about Guitar Fetish. They've just done a blowout. I think it's still going on, so you might be able to catch it. This is the guitarfetish.com website, and you go to the clearance section, and then they have guitars, full guitars that they're clearing out, and there's quite a few acoustics and a bunch of electrics, and then some electrics with missing parts and things like that, or just bodies or just necks. They do the slick electric guitars, but they rarely blow those out for licensing reasons, and that's the Earl Slick guitars, Relict, I believe. But their main acoustic guitar is the Xaviere, guitar. And there's the headstock, rosewood faced again. And the Xaviere guitars, I've had a couple of them now, and they're very, very decently made. The pricing of these is not brilliant, so I always wait for the blowouts and the blem sales, because normally when you buy a blem, one good thing about what they do on that particular site is right up front they tell you what the blemish is. So this one, when I went to buy it, it just said sharp ends, and it didn't distinguish whether that meant fret ends or sharp edges on the guitar, and thankfully it meant fret ends. So I just had to do some beveling and cleaning up of the frets, and I've got a fairly new looking guitar, and I think I got this for around $165 shipped, and I think they normally sell around $240, $250, and that's their sale price. So their MSRP price, and this is in dollars, is probably $399 for a guitar like this, and then they sell it with their sale price, and I know this is mostly marketing gimmickry. Their sale price may be what, $239, $249, and then when they blow them out, you know, you get $70, $80, and you always have to tack on that $30, $35 shipping. They're not one of these companies like Orangewood that does the free shipping. So what you see on the page is what you're going to pay. You do have to add that shipping, which is annoying. I wish they would just factor it in. But anyway, these are nicely made spruce top, rosewood with really interesting fret markers here that sort of protrude from the top of the frets to the edges there, so you can see them looking down on the guitar. I like the fact that they don't do normal fret marker circles. They're doing something a little bit different, gives the guitar a bit of a unique look. Everything on the guitar is very well done, including the all wood binding, which is nice on the top. That's sort of like a walnut. That's the back, sorry. And then the top is a lighter wood, maybe maple binding on there. Then you get the skunk stripe, which is always nice. The tuners are bog standard though. They are what you get on a lot of guitars. These are just fine. I haven't had any issue tuning it. I haven't had any issues at all with this guitar. There's the really nice dark rosewood heel cap, which is a nice touch. They've got strap buttons. Electronics are great. It's kind of light, so even though the back and sides are laminate, you know, it's nicely done. It's not one of these laminate guitars that weighs a ton, because they just don't graduate anything. So I mean, there's some craftsmanship gone into these, and they're probably well worthy of the $250 sale price that they do them for. And of course, if you can get one for around $150, $160, that's even better. I did notice as I went through their blems that not all of them are these kinds of issues. A lot of the ones they were blowing out had milky hue on the finish, like a white milky hue on the finish. Sometimes visible blemishes on the finish, sometimes cracked heels. And if you're selling a guitar with a cracked heel, I think you have to take more than $60, $70 off, in my opinion. So I stay away from those. There's no way of knowing how stable it is. And then repairing, you know, putting taking a neck off and putting it back on a guitar is not a simple job. Unless I can visibly inspect those, I stay away from those. Same with cracked scarves or anything like that. Unless you're getting the guitar for $50, cracked necks are something to stay away from, in my opinion. But anyway, and then there are others with chipped fretboards, stuff that you can live with or just sand out. Most of the finish problems don't look that bad. Another thing they do is they give you photographs of all angles of the guitar on that clearance page. So you click on the guitar and it'll show you not only describe the blemish but show it to you. And I have to give them props on this, because a lot of sites do not do this. They just some don't even tell you what the blemish is. They just sell it as a blem or a second. And others will have a short description, but they won't include any sort of photograph. of the blemish. So in that respect, Guitar Fetish is one of the better sites, even better than Orangewood in my opinion, for showing you what you're getting before you buy it. So this one, I looked at the photos, I read the description, I determined that it was sharp fret ends, which I don't know why they can't fix in the shop and just resell it, but they put it on their blowout page, so I nabbed it. Excellent guitar, and red is fine. I'm a Liverpool fan, so red is fine. My British viewers will know what that means. And I really like these Xaviere guitars if you can get them for a slight reduction. I think they're a very, very good deal. I've been playing this guitar and A-Bing it with my Seagull S6 cedar top, and it holds up well. It competes with that. So that's the kind of range these are aimed at. You may not have heard of Xaviere. You may be afraid to invest over $200 in a guitar like this, but let me assure you, I think they are worthy of that amount. I wouldn't pay $500 for it or $450 for it, but I think it's worthy of the $250, $300 range that you can get used Seagulls and Art and Lutheries and that kind of guitar. I think it competes well with those. So I wanted to show this to you. I haven't listed it yet. I was going to play it for a bit and see how it does, but it's quite a pleasing guitar. It's very different from anything else I've got. And by the way, when you look from a player's perspective, the ridges really pop out. It looks like a red guitar from here, but when you look down on it, you can really see what they mean by raised grain. So if you like that, you can feel it too, that it's very ridgy. If you like that, this might be a guitar that you might be interested in checking out. And as I said, I think the Guitar Fetish sale is still going for a day or two, and they'll probably have more. And they always have a clearance section, by the way, so you can go on there and see what they're blowing out. And they also have a section. They acquire guitars from used warehouses or closing warehouses, guitars that they don't make. They just buy out closing guitar factories, and then they just blow out the guitars. So you can go into a section on there, and I think I did a video on some guitars I got from their closeout section of their website, and you can find guitars for $69, $72, $75 that are just, very competently made plywood guitars. But you got to tack on the $30, $35. That turns it into a $100 guitar, which is a different scenario. There's plenty of competition at the $100 range, so I wait for those to really get blown out. But this is one of their flagship models, brands, the Xaviere guitars, and I believe these are made in a very good factory that makes some other brands as well. What was the other brand I think they make along with these? I can't remember, but I'll put it in the description if I can think of it. But anyway, it's not just some tiny factory somewhere banging these out. These are spec'd out and made alongside Quartz or other guitars as well. So there you go, the Xaviere Raised Grain Red Cutaway Dreadnought from the Guitar Fetish website. Go to the clearance section, click on guitars, clearance guitars, and they always have these kind of deals listed. Quite a few different models. I saw quite a few hollow bodies on there as well, if you're interested in those, and maybe I'll pick one up in the next few weeks. Alright folks, have a good day, whatever you're doing. Make sure to practice, and I'll see you on the next one.